You saw the thumbnail. You see, even if Denzel Washington was cast to play, what's his name, Nakia?
This is my son, Toussaint.
His mama named him Toussaint. I'ma name him Toussaint. AKA Nakia's son, AKA TJ, AKA Junior, AKA T'Challa, AKA T'Child. That character is impeding on us getting T'Challa the much needed elevation that this character needs. We're jumping off to IGN, and you can see that Superman and Batman, when they ranked the top 100 characters a decade ago, were number 1 and number 2. The mainstream appearances, the consistent appearances, and never swapping one of these out for their son to take the mantle. Can you imagine if we got that in the first Batman movie? Slapping the name Bruce doesn't make somebody Batman, just like slapping the name T'Challa wouldn't make anybody a T'Challa. But if we did get a Bruce who was not actual Bruce Wayne and it was the son, man, we'd never get the brand to where it is at now. Superman, Batman, Spider-Man, Wolverine. We'd have to scroll all the way down to 51. This was a decade ago when they did this, and we know he's not here anymore. We know he's competing with characters like Deadpool, Tim Drake, Nick Fury, Jesse Carter, Judge Dredd, and Spawn. We know he's definitely beaten them, but he's climbed up the ranks, and I would like for the continual progression and elevation of this intellectual property known as the Black Panther T'Challa. While people are going to tell you mantle this, and it's throughout time, there's all different parents, Marvel present is where 9 out of 10 comics, 19 out of 20 comic books take place in. He is the Black Panther throughout all of existence of this publishing company. We got to be boosting the brand, the IP, which is the one that we call T'Challa here, and this is the T'Challa. When Toussaint showed up, it was a worry for Recast T'Challa. Was this the answer to the campaign?
Uncle Bonnie, my name is Prince T'Challa, son of King T'Challa.
Don't even say nothing to me, boy. You look like a motherfucking
Is Toussaint supposed to be the substitute T'Challa? It was as if the cry fell on deaf ears. The issue was never a black male representation problem, or we need a person whose name is T'Challa problem. This was about the T'Challa. This was about an intellectual property, about a brand who his father is Toussaint, aka the T'Child, aka TJ, aka T'Challa, aka Junior T'Challa, is a whole nother character who has no comic book precedence, nothing you can sink into or get into reading and learn about, which the benefit of all those other characters on the list would have. And he's got no guarantee to exist in future iterations when things reboot. When Kevin Feige eventually ages, retires, starts over again, and in comes a new set of people, same way James Gunn and Peter Safran are coming in, there's no guarantee that they'll start with T'Child. They'll do not regular T'Challa. And all of the last few years that everyone was putting into the Denzel Washington version, or Damson Idris, or Yolanda Well, or Aldous Hodge version of T'Child, boosting this substitute T'Challa status, goes for nothing. He's never going to be seen again. That is a waste of these valuable resources. There are so few times a $200 million budget will go to a lead character with that hue, let's just face it. If we're going to do it, let's have a character with foundation, elevate on, and build on. We can't do that with Toussaint or any substitute T'Challa. You want to get a variant? We can make a variant work. Treat him like he's the king and have him offer the great representation T'Challa offers. He's T'Challa from another universe. All right, fine. I would have just straight up done a true recast, and I'm still advocating for a true recast, but I can accept a variant T'Challa if done correctly to satisfy the absence of a T'Challa. Creating a brand new character is giving me a super easy, barely an inconvenience as solution. And everybody knows that's not T'Challa. I know it. He knows it. The Warhammer guy knows it. Toussaint is a whole new stand-in substitute character, and I'm TLC. I don't want no subs. No, I don't want King M'Baku. No, you can keep Letitia Wright, and no, I don't want another Shuri movie. No, I don't want any T'Child. No, I don't want no sub. A sub is T'Challa, can't get no love from me. Hanging on the recast side, waiting for Orion and Kevin Feige. I'm so good at this. If you haven't, thumbs up to fit. Toussaint strikes fear in Recast T'Challa's heart, unlike Shuri, who was an actual comic book character. It's not a male-female thing. Please, you're being disingenuous if you do pretend that is, and you're pretending not to understand the problem. No matter how old T'Child is, he is not T'Challa. He's a separate, brand new character. I talked about it before, and we talked about how Superman got to his position, so did the Hulk, and Hawkeye is at his position. T'Challa did a great job, and not having T'Challa on screen is costing this great character, the father of Toussaint, of his limelight, of his once A-list status, which I can't say for sure he is anymore. This summer, as society renews our subscription with the Superman IP, Clark Kent Superman, ask yourself why the same doesn't happen for the greatest, most positively impactful, melanated character that Hollywood has ever had, the highest grossing fictional character to impact representation's best representative, T'Challa. Ask yourself, is the Black Panther IP in 2025 an established enough brand where we can mix and match who gets the mantle with every passing movie at no risk to diluting this brand? We're not there yet. We're not at an experimental phase with this character. We haven't been, because after the first movie, they killed the main character. They're going to give you another character named Toussaint, and you can call him T'Challa all you want. We know that that's not the character who his dad is. Recast T'Challa are asking to have Shuri's brother back in the best way possible. As the Black Panther, as the king, who is intelligent, strong, who's got the same power set he has in comic books, and just is a faithful adaptation. The ask is to recast. It's nothing that's odd that didn't happen to Ross. Recasting T'Challa isn't this extreme ask. I'm asking for the industry norm. The ones being difficult are Marvel Studios, who are fixated on T'Challa having to be dead, even though Derek Boseman said he'd be fine with the recast. Here's the footage.
I would have been fine with it because Chad was not him and he wasn't Chad. You know, Chad was Chad. T'Challa is just a character. The role was far too important. And it was bigger than just one person because of the effect that it had on black children.
It's on Kevin Feige and Ryan Coogler if they're trying to pass off Toussaint as the T'Challa recast. A substitute is not a recast. Toussaint is the biggest threat to T'Challa. He impedes on this character from being elevated into the A-list status and being cemented in the pop culture zeitgeist. Recast T'Challa as we take a big deep sigh of relief with the In Snyder report rumor. Let's keep our foot on the gas and keep asking for the T'Challa recast and make it clear we are rejecting the T'Child, Toussaint. TJ is not T'Challa. Nakia's son, who, by the way, not even confirmed that it's his real son, I'm just saying, isn't T'Challa. I want to add one thing. The actor who plays this character, Divine Love, I want him to be T'Challa. This kid is what, 7, 8 years old? I want this kid to practice his acting, read up on some comic books and get familiar with the lore. It'll be funnest homework you could ever do. Read about some history, learn an African language, try to master your accent. In the future, there are going to be Black Panther movies, you know, once that reboot happens. Once Kevin Feige retires, Iman Vellani is the president of Marvel Studios. She'll give you an audition, and you can play real, true T'Challa when they start over again. It'll be a good 20 years. You'll be old enough, and they'll start with a younger T'Challa, maybe 25, 26. You could be that. So to Divine, if you're watching because you looked it up, I want you to be T'Challa. I want you to be T'Challa for 30 years. Shout out to you, Divive. The final thing to let you go on is on this channel, Normies to Nerds, you can hear an opposite opinion of someone who was accepting of the T'Child. It was,
we ain't doing.
Look at that just got out of bed here, but it was me talking to Kendall and Justin. The conversation begins at the 45th minute, and you can check that one out right here. I'm chill. Recast T'Challa, the true T'Challa, and I'm out.